Hello and welcome back to Rambling About Wrestling. Today it is the Catch Gimme Danger review. Hey Sam, Gimme Danger, please.
There, just gonna hand it to you.
An anvil is directly above my head. If I make even one stutter in this entire video, it will fall. And that, my friends, is the danger. He's got a 1 Point Declan shirt on. Best spend of any money ever.
1 of 1. 1 Point Declan shirt.
We need to start merchandising, boys. We'll get that out.
Yeah. Get on the big cartel.
Big cartel reference. Let's go.
Oh God, what a show we have to discuss in the heat.
One of the best shows I have attended, and I do say that a lot, but it was perfect, I would say. I don't think there was a single match on the card that didn't blow me away in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps some that blew me away less than others, but, you know, a 10 is still good compared to the 11s that I don't have the words to describe, but I'll try to. The perfect 10.
Yeah, Ty Dillinger.
Sean Spears.
Alejandro West. That's another. Kind of looks like the Don.
Anyway, let's jump into things with the pre-show match that was a gauntlet match, but because I am uncertain about catch rules, I thought it was a gauntlet match and not a gauntlet eliminator, but the casino gauntlet style thing. It was very fun, I'd say. I believe the first two entrants were Najay and Scotty Rourke. They had some good chemistry. Obviously, Najay somehow got the most cheers out of anybody in this match, and that doesn't annoy me. I'm telling you, man, that doesn't annoy me.
Big up the Nudge.
So yeah, match was quite good, I'd say. Sam, what do you have to think about it?
So I can provide a unique perspective as I attended all of the Catch telly tapings that led up to this. So I have been seeing a lot of 4 of these men over the past couple months as they all batter the piss out of each other. Mm-hmm. I would say it was a pleasant surprise to have this. To have one of these participants had nothing to do with the Enigma series, but I will say he was in attendance for all. I'd cheersed him once while they were there. Stole my seat in another episode. So Dynamite Lee Dawson was the surprise entrant in this match. All the others have been announced ahead of time, and it was very nice seeing him. And it was just the perfect way to start off because everyone was, baking. We just got in a place where aircon, so everyone was still a bit warm. To just kick it off with some good old-fashioned scraps because there was not much technical about this, just chopping, grinding meat, and a bunch of creative spots, I should say. And it's a testament when we'll get to the main card, but out of the matches talked about, there's one of them we'll get to in a bit, but this one is the other match I'm seeing everyone talk about specifically for one moment in it that has caught everyone's attention.
I think we know the moment. Sexy Kev and his sexy suplexes to some Elton John sexy music.
I'm going to find the actual quote Troy Ryan said, but I believe Troy Ryan called him the White New Jack. The fact that he was beating people up while his entrance was playing.
I mean, it was an incredible moment. But yeah, I have no words to describe it, quite frankly. It was a spectacle.
White stripper New Jack was the actual term, and I should have that should be on a T-shirt. That should be merch. I am the
That's his
White New
next job.
Jack. Rocking up to a wrestling show with a T-shirt saying "I'm the White New Jack." You might turn some heads.
Potentially. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the entire match. I think the double suplex, specifically from Kev Lloyd, at the end of I'm Still Standing, not only did he hit about 18, he hit a double suplex in there. Other highlights for me, particularly, included the Dynamite Lee Dawson and Scotty Rourke going to the outside on the floor and beating the piss out of each other at the bar. Dynamite Lee Dawson actually almost took my knees out when he was getting dropped, but I can't really blame. He didn't really have control of where he was being launched, so I'll forgive him on that.
I'm going to say the both of us nearly got accidentally involved because you with your knees, and then when he landed on the chair, my foot was stuck under it.
Well, that's the perks, the cons, the pros and cons. Oh no, the anvil's coming. The pros and cons of standing front row.
I think it's also because where can we do a spot where people we know are, and because the Red Arch is so small, there was only about 30 to 50 per night. So just seeing Jeebus, Miles, Brothers, and myself there kind of were like, we know these guys. And John, obviously, who could forget John?
Nobody.
Not John as in John, but as in Bolton John.
I believe John was also in attendance, though. I think I saw him.
Yes,
in the merch
he was the
stands.
belt holder.
Ah.
Every single title match, I just see John at the side holding the belt.
Oh, what a man. But speaking of the Red Arch, of course, they broke some news to the fans in attendance later on in the night that if they do another catch telly, they'll be able to hold a bigger attendance at the Red Arch. So that is lovely to hear. I think the format works great. I mean, you've probably got more to say because you were there, but I think the build up to a proper pay-per-view style show. I mean, you've got me who hasn't really been watching as much wrestling, and you've got you who I'm the sort of casual somehow in this moment, and Sam, of course, is a catch aficionado. So you've got two different perspectives there, but I'd say it really worked quite well.
Yeah, got to stop swearing at wrestlers though. They're getting annoyed at me a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I'm taking it too far.
No, not at all, Mr. 1 Point Declan.
I will say before we move on from this match, I really liked how even though there was two other entrants in this match who wasn't in the Enigma series, all four entrants got their moment. We've talked about Kev Lloyd, but Najay at the beginning when it was just him and Rourke, and then when Bolt joined in, fighting up like the underdog, we got Danny Proper and Scotty Rourke, the Uneasy Alliance, and I liked that it called back to Grimsby Rules, where, you know, even though Danny's now just recently become a face, there's still that bit of he'll double cross you if it means that he can win. So I liked how, even though it was a match that no one expected to carry storyline, it was just the fun. Wasn't the Enigma series great? Look at all these lads who was on that show. It still wants to, you know, respect the story that they've built before it. And Adam Bolt just being the one guy you do not want to win and being the opportunist, like, you know, throwing Lee Dawson, I believe it. He threw him out to the ring, and then you think he's going to pin AJ, but he pins Proper and that ties well because, you know, Bolt and Proper, you know, got really physical in their match, and they were like, you know, they're the two that really got angry at each other in their block. So
Yeah.
I just really liked how all four of them got a moment, and it's like they respected all 8 competitors, that would put on amazing shows all throughout March and April. So yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing else to say, but I think you bang on the money. I think it really got the fans going well. Really heated us up. Not that we needed much heating up, considering how warm it was. But the Gorilla had a AC unit, which is very nice. It wasn't nice to walk back onto the street after the show, though. That hit me like a ton of bricks. That might be the angle, though.
Like walking into Italy from like the airport. Just
off the plane feeling.
Yeah.
But we've had the Enigma Scramble. We moved straight on. That, I believe, is on YouTube, by the way, on the Catch's channel, the Enigma Scramble, the kickoff show.
I'll look if they've got a release date yet, or if they're just throwing it up whenever.
I'm going to assume the latter.
As the moment, it doesn't look like a release date, but if anything happens during the recording, I'll let you know. Because for some reason, whenever I ever record anything, something gets announced with the topic I'm discussing. So
yeah. I still remember Keenan getting added to the Future Shock Trophy tournament directly after we'd all speculated who was going to be in the Future Shock Trophy tournament, and then I had to look like a mug and edit in that it was recorded before we knew it was Keenan.
That bird.
I was gonna say I'm recording live from a shed here, guys, so that's fun. Moving on though, we've had the Enigma Scramble, but we went straight into the Enigma Series Final, the Watcher versus the Leading Man. I can't believe I almost forgot the name of the main character of Catch-ish. Main character of all of Manchester wrestling. He's the greatest showman. He's the leading man. He's all things. And he was our winner on the evening as he beat Keenan. What are your thoughts on this one, Sam?
So before this, I think it was after the first taping of the Enigma series, me and Bradders had already predicted Keenan was going to the final. But where we differed on opinions is that Bradders thought they were going to pull the trigger and do the Tony and Keenan match they've been building since September. I was thinking, what if they drag this out and it was proper? Because Danny Proper has also been involved in the storyline, coming to Tony's aid. So him getting the match could seed a bit of jealousy within Tony. But this was before we realised just how mega this show was going to be and how big it was and how much of a spectacle this show was. So in hindsight, this was the correct decision for the Enigma series, and I'm glad that happened. And I liked how there was a simple story, if you want to say it, but it grounded the whole thing. Because the story was who was going to hit their finisher first, the Famouser or the Death Valley Driver, because neither of them could hit it. Both were countering for a while, and it just became a thing. It's like a one-stroke duel, basically.
Yeah.
In the films, it's like whoever gets the hit off is going to win because they're so evenly matched. And it was nice seeing, because Hostile was where I started in Catch, so this kind of felt like the season 1 finale of me experiencing Catch in a way, because it was the main story which started the show I joined, and it's getting paid off now. And it was just it felt completion, like a completionist, like, you know, and it was just a nice little bow on the Enigma series. And I liked how it didn't feel like they stalled, because part of me were worried, you know, these 10-minute matches, we're so accustomed to it, seeing a match go longer, you know, we could think, are they just going to fill that, you know, with less action? But they made sure that was entertaining all throughout. And I liked something small that Keenan did, is that whenever he was frustrated, he was adjusting his glove tighter and tighter throughout the match to show like he wants the control, which he just can't have. He can't, you know, control himself like Tony can, and that's the difference maker between the two men, you know.
Yeah.
Because in the promos, Keenan had all been, it's jealousy. He's jealous of what Tony has, you know, in the short time that he's been in the scene. So then to have that, just a little, you know, visual in the match, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, they had really close. They were really close to ending the match really early. I think we know the almost famous are on the stage. The almost Death Valley Driver on the stage. You know, it wasn't short of action, like you say, and that's why we pay you the big bucks noticing such a small detail as Keenan adjusting his glove. I mean, that's just the nuance of the match was perfect. And of course, you should be called the watcher.
At first, I thought it was just, you know, like, oh, it's a thing, but it was each time he did it, he just did it tighter and tighter. You know, that's when I'm like, oh, that's something he's meaning to do.
I don't know if the people at home just saw that, but Tommy appeared to teleport and then
it's the Undertaker.
I hope you don't have one point epilepsy at home. if one flash will do you in, then I'm very sorry. But
flash.
Yeah, don't do that. No, it's 2. One more and we're getting done. Yeah, I think Tony winning though, for me, it does actually raise a little concern in me, and that is unfortunately due to events that we know happen later on. I do believe there is only one champion that Tony Wright can challenge.
It would be really funny if it's the other way around, though. Like, what? But like, if the other scenario plays out and he goes after the other champion, imagine how funny that would be. Like, you're expecting that, and then he's just like, nope.
You know what? I think we could convince him. I think obviously, you know, it's like having too much choice. Both matches will be good, but one of them we've seen a perfect ending to, I'd say. We've seen time and time again in 2025. I just fear, is it too much of a good thing? Obviously, without dancing too close into who's who, because obviously we can talk about that in a bit. Don't want to do spoilers, but yeah, I that's just raising a little concern in me. Either way, though, you know, my butter is too... My steak's too buttery, my lobster... Whatever the saying is. My steak's too juicy, my lobster's
my
too
steak
buttery.
is too juicy, yeah.
Yeah. You know, we're suffering from success, but still.
Doesn't he do that in the picture, DJ Khaled?
Mm-hmm.
Looking
and
like
speaking of DJ Khaled,
Paul Bearer.
Another one. Let's get into the next match. Lucy Sky versus LA Taylor. Yeah. It's, well, yeah, 2C Sky versus LA Taylor. I still remember the time when LA Knight was written so over that people were chanting LA Taylor, yeah. It pissed me off then. And now for some reason I've done it. It's me. Yeah. I'm my own worst enemy. For some reason, I am Lucy Sky's biggest op in catch. I didn't mean to do it, but for some reason, she said that she remembers me, and then I remembered I antagonized her at the bread shed last year. I believe it was last year, yeah, because they haven't been able to run much this. Was it this year?
No, the last Spreadshed show was the last show of 2025.
I was going to say, yeah, last year. Yeah, I mean, this one was, when I was looking at the card on paper, this was the one I was sort of, as someone who hasn't been watching weekly, just sort of, they're two good wrestlers, they're going to wrestle. So what was the sort of story coming into this one?
So this one, I will admit, and this was one of the ones which I briefly touched over in my big 50-minute epic that you can watch. It goes in detail through all of the stories leading up to this in a catch setting. So any of the catch regulars, if you want me to hear me talk more about them, click it there. But basically, this is one of the only matches which wasn't built up throughout the Enigma series. This was a match that its build was planted at We Don't Promote Chaos, We Deserve It back in December during because Lucy Sky unfortunately got injured, so couldn't have her one-on-one match, which I think was supposed to be with LA Taylor, because Lily Winter was advertised to take on Molly Spartan in the other women's match, but because Lucy Sky got injured, LA Taylor was inserted into the other match and made a freeway for the number one contendership. And during the match, Lucy Sky tried to hit Lily Winter with the belt, but Lily Winter ducked and hit LA Taylor. So that's why this match was made, because there's unfinished business there. LA Taylor thinks that Lucy Sky cost her the match, and in her mind, she can beat Lucy Sky. So she thinks she should be champion by now. So that's why this match was made. It had, admittedly, the least amount of build-up out of all the matches tonight. Which is why I think, because I believe this one went the shortest, if I'm not mistaken. Because because there were no times where it would go out the ring or there'd be, any spots like that. But I believe it did what it needed to do. It was still a great match. I enjoyed myself throughout. Like they're two really great wrestlers. It was just that it knew that for the people who had been watching, they want to see the people who have been there week after week in the Red Arch, and these two women hadn't been. I know Vele Taylor's because she's based in Scotland, I'm pretty sure.
Is she now?
So I believe she is.
She's moved.
I believe she's in Scotland. Why is she not from Scotland?
She's from I'm pretty sure, isn't she from not Cornwall? She's from that way onwards, the southwest of England.
I thought she was in Scotland. I thought she was in Edinburgh because she has a kilt. Well, anyways, the point still stands. Neither of them was at any of the Enigma series episodes. So, I'm not saying they got out the way for the other matches. They gave this match, the time it needed. I just feel like, it kept the ball moving. It didn't try and reinvent the wheel. And that was the best, scenario.
Yeah. Not every match can, be a thing. You do need those matches where it's still good, but it's not going to overwhelm you with action, out of the ring, all that stuff, because it needed a little refresher after the Enigma Series Final. One thing that usually pure rules matches are grounded, but obviously moving on, I've really messed up the transition here, guys. But what I was saying was one thing that is usually grounded is a pure rules match. This one wasn't as grounded. I'm gonna come straight out with it. I don't think many people in the Gorilla that day had watched a Pure Rules match. I apologise. Declan McCarthy was doing the classic tactic of forcing people to touch the ropes, which every Pure Rules match wrestler ever has done, and that was booed and treated like an act of cowardice or of sorts. Obviously, Declan McCarthy, terrible person, horrible person, as the shirt will say. Also not good enough to get more than 1 point in the Enigma series. Ha 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 ha.
You know, the funny thing is, the funny thing is, it isn't he got 3 points. It was just the fact of he was the only person that drew a match in the Enigma series, and it was because the crowd were chanting 1 point wanker, but they wouldn't let me put wanker on a shirt because originally I was just gonna put 1 point wanker. So I had to change it, but I believe simile, is that what it's called? When a word means the same as another word.
You're looking for synonym.
Yeah, Declan's a synonym for wanker.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think I really enjoy Pure Rules matches. Obviously, we've seen a lot of Pure Rules matches back in the day in Brit Rest, really. You know, you had Wrestle Carnival, known for their Pure division. Obviously, people like Sam Bailey, people like Chris Ridgway, they were the foundation of Pure Rules wrestling in Britain, really, sort of, in a way. I still remember Ridgway v Gresham from the Wrestle Carnival Grand Prix of Pure, I think it was called, or something. That was fun. I don't know why I expect other people to know. But yeah, I'm a proper nerd for Pure Rules. I think this was a very simplified Pure Rules match for the simpletons in the crowd. He's either frozen or this is what I mean, though. This is why they couldn't do a full length proper Pure Rules match.
Because of me,
like Sam in the crowd, you people.
I thought this was high tier comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I think they're both incredible as well. I was very intrigued by our referee for the match, giving Declan McCarthy at one point a 5 count in the ropes after all rope breaks had been exhausted, and Declan having to remind the referee, the poor man in charge of our match, who'd also not been informed of all the rules, that there are no 5 counts when all rope breaks have been used. What were your thoughts on the occasion, though, Sam?
I thought this was really good because a lot of the matches, again, going back to the Enigma series, it's almost like that show led into this one in a way. A lot of those matches were very hard hitting and more strike based because of the time limit. So I do really like how, we got this match. I believe it showed just like how Catch is sort of blending the new era and the old era together, because obviously, like you said, this is a staple of classic Brit Rest stipulations. So bringing it back for this show, I think, was a nice touch. I also say I loved all the callbacks to their previous encounter. The fact that Declan once again, instead of pinning Faust, again did the roll through to the submission, but this time he had taken on board, the previous match and learn, and made sure to nullify Faust before locking it in, so that Faust couldn't counter, because that's how he won the last match. And these two, it's like they're both the epitome of getting your two favorite action figures and just bashing them together. Because every time it gets to a point where both their chests are red and their backs are in tatters, and it's just pure fun. At the end of the day, these two, I will never get bored watching Faust beat up Dec McCarthy. So yeah, order me 5 more matches. Let's make this series best of 8. Give me 5 more of these.
I don't know why it's a best of 8 series, but why not?
Well, they've had 3.
Like a 4-4 draw.
They've had 3. Give me 5 more. It's currently 2-1 to Faust in catch. So yeah, give me 5 more. Let's see what happens. Best of 8.
Obviously, as well, one last point before we move on. That roundhouse kick to the kneeling Declan McCarthy to end it. His head was in Rowe's head, which isn't as hard as a stadium because we're only like three rows, but still impressive that he took his head off.
I love Faust's roundhouse. The one he did against Kevin Lloyd was mythical, but I think that was just because of how even smaller the red arches, that the connection just like, you can feel it with how intimate that venue were. But that one to Dec McCarthy, chef's kiss.
And I'm not sure if I'm not sure if they're going to use this in the future, but Declan McCarthy was hit so hard he was out cold that even though he was laid right next to the rope and he still had a rope break left, he didn't use a rope break.
He still had 2, I believe.
He still had rope breaks left. He could have easily broke it up, but he was out so cold. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Faust to have knocked him clean out. But I do think that is interesting because I think the basis of their match was that McCarthy thought he was a better wrestler and that he thought Faust was using the rules differently. I believe that was the basis, right? That's why he wanted pure rules.
Yeah, it was because it was mainly out of frustration of Keenan abusing the rules to like sliding out the ring and all that to escape with the draw. But it was also because Faust was mocking him from the top, and it does all come back to like how if you look at it, Faust, even though he is a great grappler, his strength comes from being able to turn the tide of a match with one blow. If he catches you, there was like an analogy I wanted to make, but it's gone out my brain because I was like before the recording, I'm like, oh, it's like that guy from that video game, but then I forgot it. So sorry about that. But just to let you know, Faust is like a video game character.
He really is. We moved on next to our first championship contest of the evening, and it was for me. I was confused because of my casualness. Because Holly Barlow was evil. That's not allowed. That's not done. Catch will pay for their crimes, making Holly Barlow a heel. But it was Lily Winter versus Lally's Lana Austin with Holly Barlow by her side. Obviously, we saw the Catch Women's Championship change hands in that career versus title match at their anniversary show. Lily Winter finally making her ascension. She could have had it a year earlier if Harley Hudson, who was champion. Lizzie Evo, sorry. The wrong Liverpudlian mixed them up there by accident. I'm not certain I should keep that one in the video. That is a bad mistake to make. One of them's got pink hair, one of them's blonde, one of them's in TNA and has been for multiple years. One of them is not, and I'm not sure where her whereabouts are currently. But yeah, she had to drop out for the show and vacate the title, and that then led to Lily Winter going on another bit of a losing streak. It wasn't ideal for Miss Winter, but she picked up the win on this evening. she was able to beat Lana Austin, even though Holly Barlow gave her a big slap across the face when the ref wasn't looking and told Greenwood to shut up, which, again, I don't understand how people think she's evil. Those are two iconic things for Holly Barlow to do. Go on, give your reasoning, give your stupid discourse and analysis that you want. Instead of just believing Holly Barlow can do no wrong. I'm sure there's something she's done to piss you off.
So what I enjoyed about the build-up to this match was the fact that Lily Winter defended her title at 2 of the 3 shows. And on the third one, because there was a number 1 contenders match. So even though the Enigma series was about the men's division, the women's division had a presence at every single show, which was a really, good thing, because some UK promotions don't tend to focus on the women's division, and they should really do more, because the women's division is awesome in every promotion that I've ever been to. And, the talents in the scene are great. So this was the 4th defense for Lily Winter since winning it in January. She's nearly defended it every month. Probably would have defended it in February if there was an actual catch event in February. But I like how the reasoning for the heel turn was something that's like, she's right, but she's being a prick. Because I think this was also Greenwood, and that's why Holly mouthed him off in this match, because I think Greenwood made this mistake before. So Lana Austin locks in the submission on Melissa Fierce. This was the 4-way match. And then Lily Winter hits the cold shoulder and pins Holly Barlow. But this is a clear distinction. Before 3, Melissa Fierce does taps out, and most refs, they do the 2 hands, don't they? They do the asking and they do the pinning. He focused on the pin. Greenwood, like, the pin takes priority. So technically, Lana Austin did win the title. By normal rules, that isn't Greenwood's rules, any other ref would give Lana the title, because it's simple to watch both. And even so, you could hear, Melissa tapping, because she was tapping the mat and not like she was tapping her hands, which is hard to pick up on. So that's why Lana Austin turns on Lily Winter, because, she has a valid claim for the title, and then was forced to fight for her number 1 contender spot because Melissa Fierce challenged her to a match the next week. Melissa Fierce being like the Scrappy Doo of the title scene in a way, where it's like she always has to get involved when it isn't her time. And I think Holly, the reason she was trying all these stuff to help Lana, because maybe she feels like it's kind of her fault, because she did get pinned. And that's why Lana isn't currently the champion, because Holly was the one who took the L in this match. That happened. But this match, I really enjoyed, because it was a lot of character. And it's something that I haven't seen from these two in a while. Because, like, when I first started watching, it was a lot of character work. But then Lily Winter has, like, developed more of her signature offense and style, in which it's really been a joy to see the improvement over the nearly 2 years I've been watching. And unfortunately, Lana Austin just hasn't been on the cards that I've been able to attend. And I do need to go to more of her shows. You weren't there when this happened, but after the show, Lana Austin, she was chatting with people. She then walks over to me, punches me in the arm. I'm like, I don't like you. So yeah, I've got a new enemy now.
Of course you do.
In the scene.
There's always an enemy for you.
Dec McCarthy, Lana Austin, There's a third one. Just can't remember who it is. I'll just say Slam Johnson. I haven't done anything to him, but you always need a list of 3.
You do.
But yeah, this match was really fun because it felt like a Saturday morning cartoon in a way, with Holly on the outside, just doing anything to make sure her bestie wins. But in the end, the standard babyface victory, overcoming the odds, Lana Austin coming back and defending her title. It begs the question now, what happens? Are we going to get a rematch of Lucy Sky because she beat LA Taylor, or are we going to have maybe something that creates a new number 1 contender? I was thinking with this next Catch Pro Telly season that they've floated about, not confirmed, not denied, we could get a second women's Enigma series. As I talked about in my video, I found evidence of it on the Cat socials, but it was never posted to Cage Match. So it would be nice to get one now that Catch has a dedicated Cage Match following, thanks to Miles. If we can get documented a women's Enigma series or a women's hostile, or just a new like a pure rules tournament, that
I'd be down for. Get Kanji in there for some pure rules women's action. In fact, make it intergender. Fuck it. Let's book Kanji versus Zack Sabre Jr. Whoever owns Catch, book it. Kanji Sabre Jr. versus Zacharias Sabre Jr. Everybody's
Simon,
been
I
asking
believe.
for it.
I believe it's Simon who owns it. Big Side, come on, you know what to do. Imagine if it's not a guy named Simon and I just got it completely wrong.
Now that would be funny.
Yeah, put that in the Instagram reels. Anyway, that was the interval of this show. Yeah. Very, very top heavy, having technically 5 matches before the interval. But on the yeah, I've done my counting right. I can count.
Wow, barely.
But yeah, I feel like after that we did kind of need a breather because the next 3 matches was not the light-hearted tone that the first half had.
No, we stepped it up again in that second half. Kicked things off. First of all, the raffle prize for halftime that they announced just at halftime was the match contract signed in Aitonstein's blood for our eventual main event of the dog collar match against Ian Skinner. That's a cool ass raffle prize. Do more raffle prizes like that, Brit Rest. I love to see it.
The next Cat show is gonna be like Troy Ryan's, I don't know, arm. What do you call it? An arm? Shoulder pad? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shoulder pad.
Give us Sexy Kev's tearaway pants as a raffle prize.
Greenwood.
You know you want to.
Top prize for the raffle, just raffle Greenwood off. He follows you around, and whenever you're doing something like going to the shop, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's enough grapes, 5 bananas. You got to count 5 or you move away from the bananas.
That's so fucking sick. I want to buy Greenwood. I want to win Greenwood. What the hell was that, man? I thought last video was when you were drinking too much. Jesus Christ, got a smoker's glove too. Oh, don't know how I look without the glasses. Let's try and get some order back into this video as we move to what was announced and billed as the interim GMAC title match, but then was announced on the night as our number one contendership match for Big T's GMAC title. Obviously, in that matchup, Big T was on commentary, and Brady Phillips took on Troy Ryan. Brady Phillips, of course, bringing out Adam Bolt, who was swiftly removed by our special guest commentator, Big T. And he didn't reappear, even though Big T did go back to commentary. He could have snuck back out, but I would probably be scared if Big T would have stolen me already and removed me. Looked me from the apron. I probably wouldn't want to be done like that again. So I don't blame him for not coming back out. But
you never know.
You do never know.
You could be into it.
Maybe. This, I think, the highlight spot for me, and it's probably not the one that happened after the match. The coolest thing that I think I saw in this match was Troy Ryan hitting that bulletproof slingshot recoil clothesline, whatever you want to call it, that Brady Phillips loves to do. He hit one of his own, and he hit the meat spin to win with the 1-2-3. Nobody recovers from the meat spin, Troy Ryan specifically. Troy Ryan won, and he will get to fight Big T. Before we get into what happened after the match, what were your thoughts, highlights from this particular contest, Mr. Doherty?
It was really nice to finally just get like a one-on-one, because there's always been like some shenanigans, like it's a multi-man match, or Riley Nova gets involved, or Adam Bolt gets involved. It was a tag match, so it's just nice to get these finally one-on-one, because they have been the two most dominant people in catch for a while now. Brady Phillips sort of representing the pre-hiatus, while Troy Ryan represents the post-hiatus, because both of them had their biggest, wins in those times. Brady Phillips, former GMAC champion, Troy Ryan, Hostile 2025 winner. So they're very decorated in catch. So this was, if it wasn't for the fact of the two matches after this was as high profile as it was, this could have main evented a catch show, even if it's just number one contendership, just because of how prolific both of these men are to the catch infrastructure. They're like two of the pillars. I would say, I couldn't tell you who the other pillars would be, because I've got a very biased view of only the last year of catch, watching it. But anyone who's a great catch historian, I believe Ridgeway would be up there, first Enigma Series winner, did it unbeaten. Kev Lloyd is a shout, because he also did the Enigma Series unbeaten, and hopefully from this show he springboards into having more success in catch, because this was his first win since his return from I can't remember where he was from, like where he went, the dojo or Snake Pit. Yeah, Snake Pit. That's where he was, the Snake Pit. So you could argue them, but that's not. They weren't in the match. It was Troy Ryan, Brady Phillips, and they put on a big man meat slapping meat sort of match, which I really love, because I love big men.
Andy loves this meat. Moving on. Well, not moving on. I'll just mention this. Obviously, you mentioned the three matches in the second half had a load of prolificness to it. Any other company would have billed it as a triple main event, but Catch have some integrity. There's only ever one main event. They didn't bill it as a triple main event, and I just want to give a shout out to them, because it annoys me when people say they have quadruple main events. There's no such thing. It's one match to rule them all.
Even though this is one of the only shows where you would you would understand the reason, because all three are main event worthy.
Even the Enigma Series Final as well that opened our show, it's a conclusion of a tournament going on for months. The King of the Ring is main evented by the King of the Ring final.
It opened. I was so shocked it was opening. It was a pleasant surprise. Now I'm having to wait for it. And it also meant that the title matches in this half of it had weight to it.
A lot of weight. Speaking of weight, the big T then tried to hand Troy Ryan the GMAC championship, to which Troy Ryan said no. He wants the Big T service. Big T to come back in service. This was, I immediately got the thought that this would be a fake out retirement, whatever you want to call it, Mark Henry-esque, and it was. I think we all had the uneasy feeling when Troy Ryan said that he wanted Big T to come back, and Big T did come back with a black hole slam and a step over. Troy Ryan squished under the big T weight, squished him, flattened him, which is pretty difficult to do because Troy Ryan is a beefy boy. He's very jacked, and he got flattened completely. I don't like what you just did there, Sam. I'm not going to like it.
That's what Troy Ryan does. What Troy Ryan does.
Troy Ryan's got a bit more something to him. What were your thoughts on the fake out retirement?
So, even though, whenever someone says, gotta hang up the boots, everyone goes back to Mark Henry. This was one where I thought there's a possibility that wasn't, because the night before, I remember it all too well. I couldn't sleep, and it was weird because it was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. where they did this. So unless you were staying up, you wouldn't see it, because then it got buried by, it's our show today. Stories on Instagram. Big T posted. Catch only shared the first story of it, but Big T posted about 5 stories, basically like talking about how mentally his injuries affected him, and how he was thankful that he had a support network that let him take the time to heal, and that even after everyone's patience, it just doesn't feel right for him to still not be ready, and how he feels like he's let people down by not getting ready in time for this show. And he was talking about how Catch still, let him work as a backstage role. And we saw because at the Red Arch you could see Big T with a clipboard, just walking around. He was keeping on top of the minutes and everything, and making sure people were ready, to come on for their matches. So at that point, that's when I was like, oh, this isn't a gimmick, he's talking about experiences he's actually been through. He's genuinely considering just getting out of the way, basically. So that he's not holding Catch down. And I think it's because with Catch getting this new lease of popularity, it's why they were able to tell this so well. And even them just sharing the first story and you having to go out your way to hear him fully out over on his side, and not, because if they promoted all 5 back to back, I would think, okay, they really want us to watch this, so it seems like a story. But the fact that they just promoted it because they would be wanted him to have people to see it because it concerns them, that's what sold it for me. So even though people kind of saw it coming, until he goes for the black hole slam, I genuinely bought the fact that no, this is real. Even when Troy said, I know you got one in you, I didn't think it would be a heel turn. I was thinking he'd try, and then we set up to a match where does he still have it in him? I thought that they were going to be that kind of story, but no. And I'm really glad that I was swerved, that I was worked in this, because it was immaculate. And it's just a shame now that the way stories work, that whole promo's gone. Because he did it perfectly. Like, he was just like in his living room, really bad lighting, and adding in the ers, buts, pauses, like, not overdoing it. Like, there were no like crying at that. It would just genuinely felt like a man who couldn't sleep. And I don't know if because I couldn't sleep at the time of watching it, which is why I sort of like bought into it. But man, it just shows that Catch and the storytelling and the people behind it are once again blending in the present and the past, using this old, now it's been 11 years since Mark Henry did that trick, and we're still seeing new ways to spin it.
Yeah.
With the social media age. So, I can't wait for this match. It is going to bang, and I genuinely don't know who I want to see win. So on one hand, Troy Ryan's coronation, will be massive, but on the other hand, heel Big T is a very exciting prospect. And those are the best kind of matches where you genuinely can't pick a winner, because both options excite you.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, obviously, it couldn't have picked a better promotion for it to be happening in, because they have the Catch Telly. They're going to be able to tell such a brilliant story if they do this weekly episodic thing. Not weekly episodic, but, we've heard the outcry of people who want a British version of your AEWs, your WWEs, and it's not obviously on the same scale as that, but I feel Catch are really going to be able to put something special on here. Obviously, we might see Troy Ryan do the old "I'm sorry, I love you" before meat spinning him into retirement for good. Obviously, who knows how it's going to go, but that's the beauty of it. We don't know how it's going to go. Like you said, you can't pick a winner. And yeah, I think this is going to bang as a main event for our next big pay-per-view style show, like Gimme Danger.
I believe, unless they decide to change Hostile into a Catch Telly program, Hostile is the next one on the docket, because I was told they don't like doing shows in the summer. If they do decide, then it's Days of Future Catch, which they normally run in July. But if that has been retired since the comeback, then it will be Hostile in September.
I believe we've had a Days of Future Catch, haven't we?
Just saying, for Hostile to have the two previous Hostile winners in the title match, that seems pretty fitting.
And obviously Big T referenced the fact that Hostile was his creation, his thing, and Troy Ryan used it to get some Catch notoriety. So even more story layers. And again, the little things like that Instagram story, that is why Catch are moving on an incredible level, whether they meant to do it or not, whether it was, all intentional and well planned and well scripted or not. It was either dumb luck, or more likely an incredible story detail. Another incredible story detail after, I don't even know how long, Scott Oberman finally killing Northwest Strong for good, except they just rebooted the other month with sort of not new members, but they're back. He killed the last ghost of his past, but now Northwest Strong as a whole have sort of rebooted themselves, which is a shame for him. He must be crying himself to sleep. The match that sold me that this was going to be a killer card, the match that sold, I think, the majority of people who travelled down for the show. Obviously, the trains didn't work out for most people, but people were trying to come from all over the UK to see this one. It was Scott Oberman versus Luke Jacobs. Obviously, Luke Jacobs main eventing the Copper Box, main eventing all the biggest British wrestling shows for the last few years. But here, he couldn't get the job done against Scott Oberman, and that just again shows he doesn't lose much. So for Catch to get a Luke Jacobs loss, I mean, he does and he doesn't, but he's a champion in so many places. I thought it was a simple victory for Luke, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, it is like massive for this because Northwest Strong, like if you look at the list of members, it's all people who are now really well known in the British scene. It only took me about 6 months to have at least heard of all of the members. So the fact that the sort of end to the story happens at Catch of all places, which was one of the reasons why I think no one think it would happen, because Luke Jacobs has only had one other match in Catch, and it was at the very first show where he defended the Future Shock Tag Team Championships. Like, they were before Catch was an actual promotion. It was just when it was an event. So the fact that his second appearance is the finale to Northwest Strong killing it basically, is just it's an insane grab for Catch, and it shows the aspirations that the people behind Catch have, and I want to see more of their drive to become one of the big promotions in the UK, because London, obviously, it has Progress. There's Mystery Wrestling, which it's a special attraction in the UK. Whenever it pops its head out.
That's an insanely random pull, considering they've never even had a show over here yet. But
no, they've had them in Scotland and Ireland, Wales, and they've had in London.
They've got coming up.
Yeah. It would just when you talk about places where you would go out your way to travel to, like you were saying, Manchester doesn't have that. They have For the Love of Wrestling, but that's a convention. I'm talking a promotion you go out your way to see. You go to Manchester for this promotion. And I believe Catch has, the ambition to be that promotion. And I really hope they succeed, because they're it just seems that they have the best people in the Manchester scene working on it. But now talking about the match itself, what a corker. This was my introduction to Luke Jacobs. Never seen a match from the lad, and oh my God, he's incredible.
I've never seen a bad Luke Jacobs match. I don't think I'll ever see a bad Luke Jacobs match. I mean, was that the first time you've seen a signature chop on a ring post? Because that sent chills down my spine. You could see it a million times, and it'd still look like it killed. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how his hand wasn't broken clean off.
Gonna say, people do that spot, but that one, it felt like he actually just chops the ring post. Because otherwise it's it's a little dink. That one, it full on sounded like he whacked it against the ring post, and that dive by Oberman to the outside, which sort of looked like a botch in a way, but I don't think it was, considering the fact that they got up immediately after. So either they were both running on adrenaline and piss, or they were just so professional about it. So
they're tough cookies. It could be
either. People are calling this match of the year as of now.
I'm not debating that at all, man.
Definitely, it's going to be a strong contender at the end. When all things end, and obviously, you will probably go to more shows than me, or you'll hear about other shows, because you're like an expert in researching. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a King of the Mountain match, which would just come out of nowhere. Even though that stipulation's been dead for years. Maybe
Hey,
that.
man, TNA brought it back the other year. If a British wrestling company run a King of the Mountain match, I will personally sell the show out. I will buy every ticket in the arena. I mean, it'll be a bit shit for the wrestlers because it'll only be me in attendance, but they better still put on a good show for a sold out crowd.
Oh God. But yeah, I think Oberman, I am definitely enjoying him while I can, because at some point he's going to be snatched up by any like of the American companies, and he deserves it, you
Yeah.
know, because he's at that level. Like he performs better than the TV you see on wrestling. Wait, no, the wrestling you see on TV. And like, as much as, you know, it pains me that he is an Everton fan, and much as it pains Charlie that he's such a good wrestler, he is undeniable, you know.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, nothing else matters.
Hey, I understood that reference. Very good. Very good stuff. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty damn much what I wanted to say on the subject. We then had our raffle, which unfortunately we didn't win. But then it was time for one of the most insane match. I don't understand. We went from like some good old fashioned proper wrestling to somebody getting dog walked. Get the leashes on, boys. We're getting kinky in the main event. It was Aiton Steen versus Ian Skinner in a dog collar match. Ian Skinner, the cheeky little bugger, he attacked Aiton Steen before the bell. We had to make a makeshift dog collar. He was wearing a dog collar, but they had to tie the chain around his neck because I think the dog collar broke.
I'm going to say Skinner just immediately breaks Steen's collar. The first punch thrown. At that point, I was thinking, oh no, are we about to see a calamity here? When that's the first punch of the match.
But no, it was pretty damn good, I'd say. And one thing I will say, the tension in there, that if it already wasn't warm enough, the room definitely heated up. There was definitely a bit of something, because those two boys, they could have pulled each other's pants down and it still wouldn't have been less kinky and homoerotic as walking each other with leashes. That's all I have to say on the matter.
I really enjoyed it.
I could tell.
I will say, going into it, I had like zero expectations because I've never seen a dog collar match. I just, from what I heard about it, it sounded like, oh, this might be very boring, because people were telling me it was going to be like, oh yeah, you have to touch all four corners of the ring. And I thought, that is a really shit concept. And I liked how Mark, the MC for Catch, who does an amazing job every time, got to commend him, basically just said, fuck that. They're going until one of them can't get back up again.
I don't understand how that came across, by the way, because that's a Texas bull rope match that you have to touch all four corners. Dog collar matches have always been pinfall, submission, or knockout, or death. There were a lot of chance of murder.
I think it's because of the WWE like kidification of the dog collar match. I'm thinking specifically. I think it's specifically like, you know, Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns in 2019. It still pissed me off that before the before Cody, Baron Corbin in that match with the last person to pin Roman. Just to get a little bit off topic, that fucking sucks. But yeah, this match was just. If you ever wanted to see two twinks try to murder each other, you got your money's worth here. This has been building since January. Actually, a little bit earlier, December. That was when we had the shot to the balls. So yeah. So to pay it off with nails being ripped out and literally choking each other because you hate each other that much. Meanwhile, you're in nothing but Calvin Klein boxers and a dog collar wrapped around your neck. It's definitely a one way to end the show.
It really was. And I mean, even taking away the spots that they had planned, I think at one point, Steen tried to do a springboard maneuver and got himself tied up in the ropes. Even the bits that weren't meant to happen were dangerous as fuck. I can't believe both men survived. I mean, of course, after the match, it looked like Ian Skinner didn't quite survive. We were a bit scared for a second. He was, of course, having to be treated by the medics.
Yeah, I got a bit last spot. It was a bit like, and I think I think maybe Catch was thinking, we know our audience, they'll be pricks and still heckle him. But no, we were genuinely concerned that because that last spot was a bad fall. I think he was going for like a Spanish fly or like a destroyer, and they like under rotate and Steen just lands on Skinner like flush on his chest. So that's why people are like, because if he was okay, then what a sell. If he wasn't okay, I'm just glad he's okay now.
Yeah. He, of course, tweeted after confirming he was okay. Unfortunately, didn't tweet "I lived, bitch." That would have been great. That would have been a great tweet to pop up. That would have made the best wrestling tweets of all time, part 4, because we haven't milked that concept dry enough.
I've screenshotted one from today that was posted, which is definitely getting it in. I'll show you it off air, but damn. But yeah, any final thoughts on this match?
Just please don't do it again, Catch. I'm terrified. That would be the only. You can do deadly stimulations again, but the second you get the pliers out and start pulling people's nails off, I think even for a sicko like me.
Have you seen the result? Steam posted the result, and the nail is just all off.
Yeah, I think
it was the full nail.
We saw
to the cuticle.
Right up to considering we were front row, we saw the nail, and it was not nice. Not nice.
And the skewers. We forgot about the skewers. Steam looking like a unicorn.
Yeah, the skewers were scary.
I loved the skewers. I loved it.
He's sick. He's sick and twisted.
It was just a really like grungy vibes, underground vibes that Catch prides itself on having. So yeah, but just maybe don't maybe leave off the dog collars for a little while. Maybe not bring the skewers back. Surprised the Nutcracker. Surprised the Nutcracker didn't make an appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steen said, let's get nuts. He had a Nutcracker at the Enigma series, but it didn't get used. Maybe I mean, nuts did get cracked as we saw in one spot, but just not with that. Even Greenwood took a bump.
He did, yes.
Mm.
And he sorted Skinner out when Skinner had knocked him down and took his collar off. He said, "Nuh-uh, get your collar back on, boy." That sounds, again, there's no way to talk about it normally. It was an incredible match to main event, an incredible show. I think that wraps our review up. Overall, any last thoughts? Any performer of the night, man of the match awards that you want to give out?
I think performer of the night, I am going to give to. It's got to go to. It's a tie between Oberman and Jacobs because they just both left it all out there in that match. Like, it was just wow. But special mention to Skinner and Aiton because any lesser match would have been swallowed up having to follow from that. And they didn't. They didn't just let the stipulation carry them. They still told the story that has been building up for, as I demonstrated in my video before the event, a whole year in advance. Like this, the 2025 Enigma series is where this story actually started. If you want to, look back at these two men in catch. So yeah, I would rate this show a perfect 10 out of 10 on the scale. And
that's low, quite frankly. I'm breaking the scale. I wish I had an extra finger. I wish I was genetically mutated. I'm giving it 11 out of 10.
There you go. I gave you a finger.
I just watched Obsession last night. I need to do the frowning thing. What a film. Random tidbit to end the review on.
Random references all throughout, random pulls. Yeah, I don't think any show I see throughout the rest of the year, I don't think will beat it.
Nah,
I want to be pleasantly surprised, but I believe that this will firmly be at the top of my list for cards of the year when we get round to the next December lot of videos.
I think we'll wrap it up. I think the heat strokes get into us. Stay tuned on the Rambling About Wrestling social medias because I, Jackie Benno, have a big announcement in the coming days about a kind of new series, I want to call it. Even Sam doesn't know, and I think he's going to be pleasantly surprised. But we will see you next time. Goodbye. Love ya.